Roger, the clock is operating. We're underway.
You're loud and clear.
Roger, we're programming and roll okay. A little bumpy along about here.
Roger. Stand by for 20 seconds.
Roger. We're smoothing out some now, getting out of the vibration area.
Roger, you feel max Q, flight path is...
Roger, feels good through max Q and smoothing out real fine. Cabin pressure coming down by 7, okay, flight very smooth now. Sky looking very dark outside.
All Roger, reading you loud and clear 7, Cape is go, we're standing by for you.
Roger, Cape is go and I am go, our capsule is in good shape. Fuel 103, 102, oxygen 78,100, cabin pressure holding steady at 5.8, amps is 2.6. All systems are go, indicating 6Gs. Roger, 0G, and I feel fine. Capsule is turning around. Oh, that view is tremendous.
Roger, turnaround has started.
Roger, capsule turning around, and I could see the booster during turnaround just a couple of 100 yards behind me. It was beautiful.
Roger, 7, you have a go, at least 7 orbits.
Roger, understand go for at least 7 orbits. The Friendship 7 can see clear back a big cloud pattern way back across toward the Cape. We're all set. This is very comfortable at 0G. I have nothing but very fine feeling. It just feels very normal and very good. Have very little dirt floating around in the capsule, just a little bit. And preparing to take xylos still at present time. This is Friendship 7. The head movements cause no sensations whatsoever. Feel fine. Reach test, I can hit directly to any spot that I want to hit. I have no problem reaching for knobs and have adjusted to 0G very easily, much easier than I really thought I would. I have excellent vision on the charts, no astigmatism or any malfunctions at all. I feel fine so far, over.
Roger, understand.
This is Friendship 7, have beautiful view of the African coast, both in the scope and out the window. Out the window is by far the best view. Part of the Canaries was hidden by clouds. Roger, how you doing, Gordo? We're doing real fine up here. Everything is going very well, over.
John, you sound good.
Roger, control fuel is 90,100, oxygen is 75,100, amps are 22. All systems are still go, having no problems at all. Control system operating fine, over. The only unusual thing I have noticed is a rather high, what would appear to be a haze layer, up some 7 or 8 degrees above the horizon on the night side. The stars, I can see through it as they go down toward the real horizon, but it's a very visible single band or layer pretty well up above the normal horizon, over.
Shortly, you may observe some lights down there. You want to take a check on them out to your right, over?
Roger, I'm all set to see if I can't get them in sight. Roger, I do have lights in sight on the ground, over.
Roger, understand. They're just off to your right, then?
That's affirmative. Just to my right, I can see a big pattern of lights, apparently right on the coast. I can see the outline of a town and a very bright light just to the south of it. On down. Roger, the lights show up very well. Thank everybody for turning them on, will you?
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the stream. It is 8:03 p.m. here in Florida, and I'm going to be hanging out with you for maybe 30 minutes to an hour. Let's call it 45. Let's call it 45 tonight. Little low-key hangout. My parents watched my daughter today, so I spent all day working on videos. I got 3 videos done. I'm going to schedule them to upload Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday will be the Clone Wars video. So 4 videos in a row, 4 days, 4 videos. This is the first time in a long time that has happened on this channel. It's kind of funny, man. Like, I was thinking about it today. I think I have like 850 or 900 videos in this channel's entire existence. That's not counting streams, of course, but like videos that I've made, I think there's like maybe 800 to 900, something like that, which is nothing. I mean, like, I've been doing this for 9 years. Let's just say it is 900. That's an average of 100 videos a day. That's crazy. That's a little less than 2 videos a week in this channel's existence. That's crazy to me. I don't put out that much shit. It's nuts. But welcome, guys. For whatever reason, I was thinking about that today. Like, it's kind of weird. Like, some people put out, 300 something videos every year, or a day, or a week. And here I am. 1 video a week. But yeah, welcome, guys. Topic of conversation tonight is, what's your favorite Star Wars movie? You guys know mine. It's A New Hope. I'm sure we will talk about that further. But Vince Wynn, good to see you, man. Thank you so much for the first super chat and channel support this evening. Hope you're doing well. Hope you found that TP. Vince Wynn says, choose a fictional ship. Doesn't have to be from Star Wars, to speed you along faster to your trip to Andromeda, also Empire. All right, so Vince's favorite movie is Empire. So if I could pick a ship, okay, how about that? Wow, goodness. I've been saying goodness a lot lately, and the only reason I've been saying goodness a lot lately, Vince, instead of like goddamn or shit, is because I say goodness gracious a lot to my daughter. Because I can't go damn it, shit, oh goodness. I say goodness gracious. So forgive me for my accidental niceties. Vince says, choose a fictional ship to speed you along faster to your trip to Andromeda. Definitely the USS Enterprise from The Next Generation. I mean, Vince, at this point, you're probably going to roll your eyes at me and my love for that TNG. But, I love the design of the ship. I love the look of the ship. Everybody seems to be pretty comfortable. You have your replicators, you have your computer. The life in the future seems pretty dandy on long voyages. Through the galaxy. That being said, I don't know how intergalactic travel would go with the Enterprise. Yeah, that's that. I don't. Yeah, did they ever venture out to on TNG? They didn't, but did they ever venture out another? See, I haven't really watched too many other series. I'm assuming one of them at least talks about, or at least ventures out a little beyond the Milky Way, but yeah, is it best Star Trek? You can't change my mind. I love it, Elijah. It is without a doubt my Star Trek. I really haven't seen much of Voyager or Deep Space Nine or really any of the other ones. I mean, I've seen bits and pieces, but it's been decades, But yeah, could never really get into the. I appreciate the original series for what it is. I just couldn't ever get into it for whatever reason. I don't know. But anyway, Vince, I appreciate that, man. Oh, and Omega Lol, thank you so much as well for the super chat and channel support. We choose to go to the moon. That's what it is. We choose to go to the moon, Omega Lol. But I appreciate the effort. We choose to go to the moon and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. I love it. I love it. You need a. Well, it's kind of funny, like moonshot, right? That has become a term. That has become a descriptor. That has become. So when, like, I can't remember who it was. It might have been Joe Biden years ago when he was vice president, saying that we need a moonshot to defeat cancer, and that was kind of the first way I have ever heard moonshot put like that. I love the usage there. We need a moonshot to defeat cancer. It's kind of interesting. I like the way that it's used as as like an all hands on deck effort to accomplish a goal, right? A moonshot. I just love the way that was said. I believe it was back then. I can't remember. But yeah, we choose to go to the moon and do the other things not because they are easy, but because they are hard. And that I can't. Let's read a little. Shall we? Let's see. Shall we, ladies and gentlemen?
Speaking in 1630 of the founding of the Plymouth Bay Colony, said that all great and honorable actions
Here we go.
are accompanied with great difficulty, and both must be enterprised and overcome with answerable courage. If this capsule history of our progress teaches us anything, it is that man in his quest for knowledge and progress is determined and cannot be deterred. The exploration of space will go ahead. Whether we join in it or not, we mean to be a part of it. We mean to lead it. For the eyes of the world now look into space.
Sorry
to
to be polarizing, but The Last Jedi. My father has been a fan since the original release and he agrees. It challenged the law. The Luke scenes were gold and evolved the Jedi law.
Mark Hawgood, thank you so much. Is it Hey Good or Hawgood? I've actually never heard Hawgood. I've heard Hey Good. I actually knew a Hey Good. But Mark, thank you so much, man. I guess I won't play the whole choose to go to the moon thing. Sorry. I just kind of started zoning out listening to a pretty great speech, right? One that will go down, no doubt, longer than, I mean, can you imagine Star Voyagers, whatever the hell they're going to be called in the year 2800, right? Listening to a speech like that and watching the footage of the first people to set sail. But yeah, anyway, I appreciate that, Omega Law. So we got Boston Ticka, Stranded J, Carter Lovejoy, and Mark Hawgood. Thank you guys so much for the super chat. Oh, it's Hey Good. It is Hey Good. Mark, thank you guys so much. Give me 1 sec. I am super long-winded. I apologize. Boston Ticka says, can you speak any other language? Empire, by the way. Empire seems to be a lot of people's favorites. And I'll give my thoughts in a bit here. So I don't speak any other language. The closest thing that I speak in terms of a language, and it's not, let me turn down my, there we go, desktop, and then put on some tunes. Boom. So the only thing that I am close in terms of language-wise is sign language. I'm not fluent by any means necessary, or that's not the correct word. I'm not fluent at all. I could get by pretty well when I was in college years ago, and I was taking classes and I was going to these like sign language events and doing these like after class group sessions with students or deaf students who would help sign language students, and it was really interesting, and I found that I grasped it way quicker than the other language that I attempted to take. Like when I was young, man, I tried Spanish, I tried German. I barely had the I don't know, the willpower or the attentiveness or the maturity to study English. You know, my brain was just not there in terms of attempting to study another language, you know. But yeah, man, I appreciate that, man. Yeah. And Stranded J, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support this evening. Hi, Greedo. I don't normally plug my own channel, but I just wanted you to know I did a review of your book. Oh, nice. On the channel. Okay, cool. Let me well, first of all, thank you so much for let me find where's that super chat real quick and I'll pull up your channel. So if anybody had oh no. What's going on? What happened to my chat? Okay, there we go. Weird, man. There we go. Open a new tab. Something went wrong. Theaterman 77, right? Is that what? Go to channel. Weird. Something's not working. Let me try Mark's. Is anybody... I can't get to anybody's channel. Can anybody get to people's channel here? All right. So, do me a quick favor here. Does any... I'm going to type Stranded J into Google just so I don't remember or forget to check it out. Here it is. So... Weird, man. There it is. So I tried to go directly. I tried to click your name in the chat, Stranded J, and I clicked go to channel, but it took me to a different channel by the name Theater Man, and that channel is not working. But then I was able to just Google Stranded J and find it. Strange. I don't know why, man. I whenever I click anybody's name in the chat right now and try to go to their channel, it's not working. I don't know why. Must be some kind of weird ass bug. But dude, thank you so much for checking out the book. And thank you for doing a video review. I'll have to check that out after the stream for sure. I'll post it. How about this? There, cool. I'll post it up in the chat. I don't know what you say. You could just have big diarrhea sounds all over the video and say the book sucks, but I'll share it anyway. Dude, thank you so much for the support on multiple fronts, and I look forward to checking out the old video, man. But I appreciate that, and I hope you got something out of it. I hope you enjoyed it. And once again, sorry about the mess. So if anybody has no idea what the hell I'm talking about, I did write a book, released it in December. Check it out. Stranded J has a review of it. It's in the chat if you're curious. But yeah, once again, man, thank you so much. I'll check that out after the stream. And Carter Lovejoy, Mark Haygood, and Carter Lovejoy. Wait. Mark Haygood, then Carter Lovejoy, then Mr. Wolfman. All right, guys, thank you so much. Mark says, wait,
so I am sitting
I'm so
here
confused
with
here.
my
Oh,
sons
one sec.
discussing favorite Star Wars movie. Mine is Empire 44, Andrew 10 is Attack of the Clones, and Blaine 6 is The Rise of Skywalker. By the way, they are huge fans of you.
Michael Voorhees, thank you so much for the ridiculously generous super chat and channel support this evening, man. I greatly appreciate that. I will tone down the language if they're watching right now. But Michael, thank you so much. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm a little long-winded tonight, but I appreciate that, man. Mark says, sorry to be polarizing, but The Last Jedi. My father has been a fan since the original release, and he agrees it challenged the lore. The Luke scenes were gold and evolved the Jedi lore. Oh, no, I completely agree. It's my fourth favorite Star Wars movie. You know, everybody says, how can you possibly rate Star Wars movies? It's like anything, man. I like Twix candy better than M&Ms. You can rank anything, right? No, I like the challenge of it. If I've always said, you know, if we're kind of mulching over the same stuff over and over and over again, and we're not pushing the boundaries and we're not challenging it, challenging the audience, if we're not challenging the material, if we're not creating something new and interesting, then what are we doing? We're spinning our wheels in some mud. Like, what's the fun in that? Push some boundaries, take some risks, take some chances. If you're not taking chances, if you're not, you know, as you said it, challenging the lore, what's the point? What I don't know, man. It's kind of interesting. Like, I differ so much from a huge percentage of Star Wars fans in terms of what I want in a Star Wars movie. Like, a good example is like familiarity. I don't care if we ever see any familiar faces in Star Wars again. I would be actually kind of happy with that. Like, if we never had an Obi-Wan show, fine, cool, whatever. I don't need it. I would rather have a show about somebody new. That's what's interesting to me, you know? So, yeah, I don't know, man. It is without a doubt, in my opinion, the best Star Wars movie in the sequel trilogy. Certainly, I like twists and turns in stories. I like being surprised. And if movies are so predictable, as I think the Rise of Skywalker is, then it just leaves me with a big shrug of the shoulders, right? So, Mark, you're not being polarizing. I mean, we like what we like, we dislike what we dislike, right? yeah, I love Luke Skywalker in that role in that movie. Luke on crate is it might be my favorite scene in Star Wars if I wipe away the nostalgia goggles. So yeah. Anyway, Mark, I appreciate that, man. Cheers. Actually, let me take an actual quick sip of the old water here. And Carter Lovejoy, thank you so much, man. Rumor has it North Korea is secretly building a Death Star. Oh, they couldn't. Oh, they don't have a chance. Good luck. You can't. Yeah. I don't know if that would work. Can you imagine the resources it would take, Carter? Like with modern technology to build a Death Star? It's taken a couple decades to build the International Space Station piece by piece. You know, they're still adding modules. And well, I don't think they are anymore. I don't think they've added one for a while. I could be wrong about that. But they've been adding modules over decades and building it piece by piece like a erector set, right? Or a Lego set. Can you imagine the amount of resources it would take with modern technology to actually build or attempt to build a Death Star? I mean, it would take hundreds of years. You would have to, the technology would eventually catch up at thousands of years even with modern technology. It might take every single man, woman, and child and resource on planet Earth to build another satellite orbiting Earth the size of the Death Star. North Korea is going to do that. Okay. Anyway, Carter, I appreciate that, man. And Mr. Wolfman and Michael Voorhees and Ryan and Vince, thank you guys so much. Wolfman says New Hope is the best. It can stand on its own. Yep, A New Hope is my personal favorite Star Wars movie. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with the fact that it can stand on its own, and it does stand on its own. It is definitely kind of like just a nice shot, a cohesive beginning, middle, and end. But I've always been a sucker for the beginning of stories, and a lot of you guys have probably heard me say this, but I've always been a big sucker for the beginning of franchises or trilogies or whatever. Like my favorite Harry Potter movie is the first Harry Potter movie. My favorite Lord of the Rings movie is the Fellowship of the Rings, or the Fellowship of the Ring. My favorite Back to the Future is the first one. I mean, basically my favorite, if you want to go with like Hunger Games, first one. I don't really remember the other ones. Basically any franchise other than Indiana Jones, the first one's my favorite. I think Temple of Doom's my favorite Indiana Jones, guys. So yeah, A New Hope is my favorite. When I think of Star Wars, I think of A New Hope. I love, Tatooine, Mos Eisley, all that stuff. The slow build, Luke Skywalker, the relatable young kid who doesn't really know what he wants to do. I love the dogfighting sequence at the end. Oh, goodness. I love it. But yeah, man, I agree. It is my personal favorite. And Michael Voorhees, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support this evening, man. So I am sitting here with my sons discussing favorite Star Wars movies. Mine is Empire, so you are 44. Andrew, 10, is Attack of the Clones. And Blaine's, who is 6, is Rise of Skywalker. By the way, they are huge fans of you. That is such a really interesting and kind of perfect example of age gaps and what you first watch or what you grew up watching. Now I don't know if this is the case, but I'm assuming maybe Blaine's first experience of Star Wars was the sequel trilogy, it's Rise of Skywalker. Could be completely wrong, but it just seems like, you, obviously your favorite Star Wars movie is probably going to be the one that you grew up with, right? Which would be the original trilogy at the age range you are. Andrew, Attack of the Clones, a little older than Blaine. Attack of the Clones, 10 years ago when he was born. The sequels didn't exist, so maybe he got a taste for those prequels first. And Blaine, maybe his first experience with Star Wars was the sequels. Who knows? But that's kind of interesting. Like 3 kids. I'm counting you as a kid. 3 different generations of movies, right? Interesting. It's always been like that, right, man? Like, me and you, our favorite Star Wars, for the most part, everybody that grew up in our age range, their favorite Star Wars stuff is the first Star Wars stuff, right? The stuff that was around when we were kids. And now there's just been a huge tsunami of people over the past 9 years. And I give this as an example because I've witnessed it. Like a huge tsunami of prequel supporters and prequel fans and Clone Wars fans over the past 9 years of this channel's existence have just kind of swarmed over everything because those kids who grew up with those movies and that show have grown up to have a voice on the internet. And Blaine, let's say 10, 15 years from now, is going to be growing up and hopping on this disgusting world that we call the internet and voicing his opinions on the movies that he grew up with and loved, right? So it's interesting. I think that's kind of always going to be the way, right? I mean, it's why older folks like grandparents and stuff like that love the movies that they grew up with. You know, it's just what you grew up with, what you surrounded yourself as a kid, what you have nostalgia for is usually your favorite. But yeah, anyway, I appreciate that, man. And I love that. That's cool. That's cool. Let's see. You are correct. There we go. Temple of Doom. Yeah, Temple of Doom. What did I say? Did I butcher the name of it? Yeah, I don't know why, man. Temple of Doom is the Indiana Jones movie that I watched more than any as a kid. I loved it. It was over the top, goofy. I don't know why. Like Raiders, I do like Raiders a lot. Don't get me wrong. One sec. Sorry, guys. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, Temple of Doom, for whatever reason, is the one that I watched the most as a kid. I like, we had a minivan growing up, and it had a VHS player and a little TV in it, and me and my sister would go on road trips and watch Temple of Doom like nonstop. Raiders of the Lost Ark, my head loves it, but my heart loves Temple. I don't know why, but yeah, man. And Ryan Capshaw, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support, man. Favorite Star Wars film is and probably always will be A New Hope. Yeah, you know, I've admitted that so many times on this channel that I don't know if a Star Wars movie will ever top A New Hope for me. And it's not that I won't admit that something is better. I would say that Empire probably has a better, I don't know, a more unique story, I would say. People always say that Empire is just kind of the best Star Wars movie ever made. I would tend to agree with that, but it's too tough to call, right? So yeah, Ryan, like, I don't know if any Star Wars movie is ever going to top A New Hope for me. A close second, when I wipe away those nostalgia goggles, might be The Last Jedi or The Force Awakens. I don't know, man. A New Hope is just going to always be there as like the Star Wars movie that I watch the most of. The one that just kind of embodies everything that I love about Star Wars, the weirdness of it, the new factor of it. It's when I think of Star Wars, I think of smugglers and, you know, spaceships and CD bars and you know, all that stuff. I don't necessarily think of I actually don't necessarily think of lightsabers or Jedi or anything like that. And A New Hope is very slim on all that kind of stuff, which is maybe another reason that I like it so much. But anyway, I appreciate that, man. Let me take a quick sip. All right, Vince Wynn. Thank you so much once again, man. Vince Wynn says, thanks to Stuart, I heard that Jamie Lee Curtis may appear in Mando. Really? Apollo, Michael Biehn, and now Curtis? Is that how you say that, Biehn? I feel they're making it for me specifically. Where did you hear that? Let's see. So, Stuart, are you in the chat still, Stuart? Let's see. Jamie Lee Curtis, Mandalorian. Rumored for The Mandalorian Season 2. Cosmic book news. So there's only Screen Rant, I mean, like, I've seen a lot of bullshit come from a lot of these websites that I'm looking at. I mean, a lot of these websites are kind of notorious for might as well have a robot write these articles, right? But it wouldn't, you know, there have been a lot of fun cameos or actresses. Like when I saw Amy Sedaris in The Mandalorian, I was like, Amy Sedaris? What? That was unexpected. So yeah, I could absolutely see like Jamie Lee Curtis or anybody just pop up randomly in The Mandalorian Season 2, you know. What I liked a lot about the first Mandalorian season was how we knew nothing really about it, right? The fact, like, Baby Yoda never leaked. Nobody knew about Baby Yoda. A lot of these kind of actors and stuff like that, or scenarios and things, we had no idea. It's just like, boom. Oh, there's Amy Sedaris. Oh, there's somebody you recognize. I don't know. It's just kind of neat. So I wouldn't be surprised if Jamie Lee Curtis popped up, despite all of these websites. Like Cosmic Book News, I believe, is just kind of notorious for pumping out a whole bunch of stupid shit that might as well be written by an algorithm, just piecing together words and random rumors around the internet. But yeah, we shall see. We shall see. But I appreciate that, Vince. And Vince went favorite Bond film. Oh, that's a good question. So, oh man, that's very difficult. Bond is very similar in the way of like what you grew up with, right? Being most people's favorite. I mean, the older folks that I know love the first Bond movies, you know, and it just kind of goes generation to generation to generation. My Bond during my generation's time was Pierce Brosnan. He was my Bond as I was growing up. Obviously, you know, GoldenEye was the one that I watched the most of as a kid because there was a amazing, mind-blowing, game-changing video game for the Nintendo 64 that came out. So it's very hard for me to I'm gonna say GoldenEye, man. Like, I definitely haven't seen all of them. I haven't. Let me look this up. Bond movies. We can kind of tone it down with Bond movies, right? How many have there been now? Like 1,000. All right. Dr. No, from Russia with Goldfinger, Thunderball. I don't know if I've seen Thunderball. You Only Live Twice, Her Majesty's Secret Service, Diamonds Are Forever. Yeah, there's a few here that I don't think I've ever seen. Once we get into like The Man with the Golden Gun, Moonraker, For Your Eyes Only, Octopussy, A View to Kill. Once we get into those territories, I know for a fact that I've seen them. But that was all Connery, right? Yeah, I think so. But let's see here. GoldenEye was Pierce Brosnan's first, I think. And he did Until Die Another Day, right? Is that the one? Was Die Another Day, Conflict Diamonds, was that the one? Yeah, I mean, GoldenEye, man, is just the one that I watched the most of as a kid, and I definitely haven't seen some of the earlier ones, so not to mention a lot of my memories of that is probably because of the video game, which 1v1 proximity mines, right? 1v1 proximity mines. Can we all agree that that's the best? The only reason I liked playing 1v1 proximity mines was because I would play with my sister all the time, and she didn't really know what was going on, so I would just throw proximity mines everywhere, and it definitely was not fun for her. But anyway, I appreciate that, man. Doing well, Mr. Weeping Dayla. Good to see you, man. All right, so Fofo Nablis, thank you so much. TLJ is my favorite, Fofo says. The first time I saw it, I was slightly taken aback by how different it was, but now it just speaks to me on a very personal level. Nope, I completely agree. My biggest complaint, it's interesting, man. A lot of people complain about The Last Jedi in terms of not liking story decisions or not liking the way characters were handled. I don't have that in my brain. If a story goes a way that I like, kind of bums me out, it doesn't bum me out on like like some kind of deep level. I look at it as, oh no, our characters fucked up and they made a bad decision, or oh no, they've kind of lost their way, as people do. Do you know what I mean? So when I got out of the theater after TLJ, my biggest criticism was kind of a pacing issue. In how the movie kind of tonally changed quite a bit, especially with the Canto Bight stuff. But on subsequent viewings, you realize that is not that much time. We do not spend that much time in that place. So it definitely dies down a little bit, that complaint, with more viewings. But yep, you mentioned how different it was. I love the creative decisions of that movie. I have no problem with how Luke was handled. I actually loved it. I thought it was interesting. And if anybody thinks that doesn't make me a Star Wars fan, they're dumb. They're dumb idiots. That's stupid. What are we? Are we high schoolers complaining that Green Day sold 1 million albums? Is that what we are now? Is that what Star Wars fans are? People who are mad that their favorite punk rock indie band has a movie that a lot of people like? I don't know, man. People are dumb. But anyway, Fofo, I appreciate that. And I'm glad it's your favorite, man. And Wolfman, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support as well. In light of the entire saga, episode 7 feels unoriginal, but taking it as the first episode of a Star Wars reboot, it might be my favorite or second favorite. I completely understand what you're saying there. It is. I love The Force Awakens. I completely understand the complaints of unoriginality or not really pushing the boundaries and trying anything new. I completely agree with all those complaints. I do. What it did for me was kind of, and what I think it did for most people, a lot of people, judging by a lot of the reviews and kind of the response to it, it just kicked the tires and just kind of put Star Wars back into being a fast-paced, fun adventure, and that's kind of what it did for me. So I completely understand your point. You said if you take it as the first episode of a Star Wars reboot, it might be my favorite or second favorite. So no, I completely agree, man. It's one of the more. I was actually on a podcast called the Bombad Cast. You can just check it out. You can Google it. And they asked me a question, what my favorite Star Wars movie is, or what, I can't remember what the question was, but it was like a 3-part question. They asked me, what's my favorite? What's the most fun movie? I can't remember how they put it, but I said, The Force Awakens might be the most fun Star Wars movie. It's just fun. It is a fun, we are back in this, let's all hang on for the ride, kind of kickstart back into the Star Wars franchise after so many years. So, no, I completely agree with you, Wolfman. But I appreciate that. All right. And Steven Humalak, thank you so much for the super chat. Channel support as well. A New Hope is also my favorite. To me, Star Wars is about aliens packed into the cantina or droids and scraps piled in a Jawa sandcrawler. We see eye to eye, man. That's I appreciate and understand that everybody's Star Wars is different, right? Like when I think of Star Wars, I actually don't think of a bunch of Jedi on Geonosis swinging lightsabers and fighting in an arena. That doesn't even come up to my brain when I think of Star Wars. I could think of a billion other things to think about other than that. But there's some people that is the first thing they think of, right? So I'm with you, Steven. When I think of A New Hope, or when I think of Star Wars, I think of things like a mouse droid. I think of the cantina and the droid detector. I think of Warher, the bartender. I think of like the seedy sides of Star Wars. I think of the dust and grime of Mos Eisley. I think of smugglers and scoundrels and hiding in the floorboards of the Millennium Falcon. I think of kind of a Wild West tale set in space. That's what I think of. And there's what I love about the original trilogy is that the fantasy it's sprinkled on top. It's sprinkled on top slightly on a fun adventure. It's not the front and center, right? And I think that's why that type of Star Wars has always appealed to me. So yeah, I really hope, a little sidestep here, I really hope we get a Star Wars game that isn't just solely Jedi focused. As much as I loved Jedi Fallen Order, when I wipe away the nostalgic goo on my glasses, I don't wear glasses, but if I did wear nostalgia glasses, I wiped away like Shadows of the Empire or anything like that. I probably Jedi Fallen Order is my favorite single-player Star Wars game. But I want a non-Jedi Star Wars game. Yeah? Okay. Cool. Wolfman, once again, thanks. Google old Darth Maul and look at old Ray Park with Maul costume and makeup. Really nice. So just Google... hold on, one sec. Google Ray Park with Maul costume. Old Darth Maul. Wait, this is actually Wikipedia? Did they put instead of like Darth Maul, young Darth Maul, they actually put why does this pop up? Come on, Wikipedia. I don't want to buy your app. Nice. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Do you think other than Solo he will ever appear again? Oh, he got robot legs. He got CGI robot legs. Do you think he will appear live action ever again besides his appearance in Solo? Maul from the leader of Crimson Dawn. Okay, here he is. Interesting. Love it. Yeah, man. Yeah, it looks good. I don't know. Do you guys think he'll ever pop up again in a live action thing? I doubt it. I'm going to say I doubt it. But I could be wrong because he's popped up everywhere in everything ever and ever, always and never goes away. But yeah. Anyway, Wolfman, I appreciate that. And Michael Voorhees, once again, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. Michael says, thanks, Greedo. I am the cool dad tonight because you said my son's names. Nice. It was Blaine and Andrew. There you go. What's going on, Blaine and Andrew? Where did it go? Oops. My 10-year-old is enjoying your book. 10! Whoa! He's enjoying the book. I already read it and enjoyed it. Nice, man. Well, thank you so much. There's some bad words in there. I hope you blacked them out with the Sharpie. I guess I should have put in a... Well, you already know it, so I guess you approved. You're already the cool dad. You kind of are doing what my parents did to your kids. Like, as you know, I wasn't restricted from seeing anything. I watched Alien when I was like 7 or 8. Parental advisory albums were not withheld. And do parental advisory albums still exist? I don't know, but I could buy those stickers, whatever. My parents didn't care. I could watch any movie that I possibly wanted, play any game that I wanted. So I guess reading a book isn't too different from that. Just some naughty words, right? Some little funny stories. But anyway, man, that's really cool. I appreciate that. And yeah, Andrew and Blaine, enjoy it. May the force be with you. How about that? May the force be with you. I appreciate that, man. Hope you guys are doing well, and staying healthy, safe in this weird time, right? Weird. But I appreciate that, Michael. And Connor Johnson, I have an outer ear infection and I am in pain. Yay, outer ear infection. Is that like a visible thing that you can see? Let's see. Outer ear infection. I guess not. Oh, that's ow. Ooh, ow. Ooh. Oh, like swimmer's ear? Wait. Aye. I see. I'm assuming that yours isn't this bad. This is pretty bad. Some pictures that I'm seeing. That's no fun. I remember getting ear infections as a kid. I living in Florida, living in Georgia, even going to the beach all the time. You get ear infections quite a bit. My dad he has horrible hearing. He actually wears 2 hearing aids, but that came from like having horrible infections as a kid, and they just never healed, and just he actually has cadaver bones in his ears that they've rebuilt certain sections of his ears with, and all because of infection. So take those antibiotics that I'm sure somebody's prescribed you. If they didn't, I hope you go to the doctor. You need to. But best of luck, man. I guess we're all sitting around the house, so sleep on your other ear. But I appreciate that support. Get well soon. And Quinn McNichol, I appreciate that, man. Quinn, TLJ, I want every gun we have to fire on that man. Yeah, the ending of that movie, it's there. You know how, once again, I understand that we all like some different things. To each his own. We like and dislike what we like and dislike. But when I watch that scene, Quinn, I find it hard to believe that people don't like it. It's just one of those things, like, I love it so much. It's one of my favorite scenes in all of Star Wars. And it's just so puzzling to me that the twist and the turn of it, the acting on by all parties, the stakes and just the overall scenario, the Luke actually not being there, that twist, the foreshadowing of it. Once you see it again, that you see that his feet do not move the salt. It's see you around, kid, and it says I'm sorry, and it's just Mark Hamill destroys that role. He's so good in it. But yeah, Quinn, that the end of that movie, it could be my favorite scene in all of Star Wars. But yeah. Anyway, man, I appreciate that, and hope you are staying safe and healthy as well, Mr. Quinn. So yeah, guys. The French Canadian Wolfman. Oh, weird. It didn't pop up. There we go. Wolfman says, I'd love to see live action Asajj Ventress. Love her. That would be cool. Actually, I don't know who does the Asajj Ventress voice. Who does the voice? Nika Futterman. She actually kind of looks like Ventress. Let's see. Maybe not. Why does she look familiar? Is she also an actress? Does she only do voices? I'm going down a rabbit hole, guys. 1 sec. Does she only do voices? Because she looks familiar. She kind of looks like maybe somebody on a commercial that I've seen. I'm not too sure. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I absolutely wouldn't mind something like... I'm all for a character from animation popping up in, something live action. It's not necessarily something that I want. I'm always more in the mood for a new character, But Asajj... It's also kind of funny, Wolfman, like, Before I watched the Clone Wars, I had just seen like an image of Asajj, right, of Ventress, without knowing anything about her. I saw images of like the Night Sister witches and all that kind of stuff, and just from first glance, I was like, that's dumb. I'm not going to like that. But after watching the Clone Wars, Asajj is a great character. The relationship between her and Dooku, what comes of her later down the road, all of these characters, all of these villains, all of these kind of gray area characters that don't really have a defined allegiance are really interesting to me. So, yeah, I don't necessarily want her in live action, but I do like her as a character for sure. Yeah, man, I appreciate that. In Tidy Wire, Justin Chuka Session and Wolfman once again. Tidy Wire says, any thoughts on the depiction of Luke in Legends? It's kind of funny that you mention it. Let me grab something from the other table right behind me. Tidy. Where'd it go? Here we go. So I spent the day, like as I said earlier, my parents watched my daughter today, and I was able to make a few videos, but I was also able to kind of clean out my garage a little bit, and actually get it really nicely organized and everything. And I went up in the attic to look for some posters, specifically a poster that my buddy got me signed by a band that I love called Limbeck. And as I was looking for that poster, which I found, I actually came across my box of comics and some action figures and stuff like that. And I was flipping through it, and I found my, you can hear it, my graphic novel of Dark Empire from 1995. And I know I read this, but because like a lot of the artwork looks familiar, but I honestly don't remember much of anything. So so how about, I really can't answer that question right now because I really didn't read too much Legends books, especially Legends books that kind of featured Luke. If I read a Legends book, it was usually like a Han Solo's Revenge or something like that. So Tidy, give me a rain check. Give me a couple weeks. I'm going to read this entire 100-page or so graphic novel. I actually don't know how many pages in it because there's no page numbers at the bottom. Give me a little bit. I'm going to read this graphic novel, and I'm going to make a video about it, and I'm going to talk about it. I was very excited when I opened it up and kind of rummaged through, my some old comics that I had. But yeah, man. Sorry for not being able to answer it, but I'm looking forward to this video, or reading this rather. It's in such good condition. I mean, like, it was in a plastic sleeve, but I'm just kind of surprised it's in such great condition. Oh, it smells nice too. Oh, you know that comic book smell? Oh, gotta love it. All right. Available from your local comics retailers that have all closed down. But I appreciate that, man. And yeah, so look forward to that video probably in the next few weeks. But yeah, Tidy, I appreciate that. And Justin, I was really into the sequel trilogy, and then The Rise of Skywalker kind of ended the whole thing with a whimper. Still prefer Return of the Jedi as an ending. Oh yeah, Return of the Jedi has a fantastic ending. You know this, Justin, I'm sure. Return of the Jedi has my favorite lightsaber fight in the entire saga. So, yeah, I kind of agree with you, Justin. The Force Awakens was such a fun sprint, a fun, we are back in business Star Wars movie. The Last Jedi was such a twist. I loved it. Twists and turns and surprises. To me, it turned things on their head, made you think, and it was interesting, and it's what the franchise needed. And then The Rise of Skywalker, as you put it, kind of ended the whole thing with a whimper. That's a good way to put it. I saw it, I got out of the theater, and I talked to my buddies afterward, and we were just like, yeah, I don't know. None of us really liked it. One of my buddies really hated it. And he was like, yeah, I'm never going to see that again. We all just were like, yeah, it's just kind of a big generic nothing. I get that people love it. I completely understand that people love it, but it's not what I'm looking for in Star Wars. And once again, it's not because of any necessarily story decisions that were made. I usually go along for the ride with that kind of stuff. But it was just kind of felt like a big generic blockbuster that didn't really push any boundaries or take things in any new, interesting direction. So, I don't know, man. I completely understand, you know, if you were geared up, if you were really into the sequel trilogy, as you put it, and then the final movie just kind of like, poof, it's all gone. And it's not because, you know, it's the end and there's nothing afterwards in terms of a saga movie to look forward to. It's just because it was just kind of a big generic bowl of bran flakes. Sugarless bran flakes. No, there was lots of sugar. Too much sugar. Not enough nutrition. But yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, Justin. And I feel you, man. Trust me. I completely feel you. Yeah, it sucks to, you know, ride the wave and be really, really into it. And then the final chapter just be like, meh, yeah, oh well. You don't get mad about it, right? You just go, it's a bummer. But we move on. Look forward to Mandalorian and the Clone Wars, right? And Mr. Wolfman, once again, on two fronts here. Wolfman says, we're almost at an hour, guys. Jeez, time went by fast. 57 minutes almost. Wolfman says, watch Chris Stuckman's Ewok movies review. Movie reviews for a laugh. Oh, all right. Asajj was the original idea for Palpatine's next apprentice, but Dooku was chosen instead. They then put her in the micro series. She's creepy in it. Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's interesting. I actually didn't know that she was in the micro series either. That's really interesting to me. So she's been a character concept for a very long time. I never knew that, Wolfman. All right, I appreciate you bringing that to my attention. Okay. Well, there's a lot that I don't know about the micro series. And those who maybe haven't heard me say this, I'm going to finish up Season 7 of the Clone Wars. After Season 7, I'm going to watch that 2003 Clone Wars micro series. That is the next thing that I'm going to watch after Season 7 of the Clone Wars. So, looking forward to it, man. It'll be a fun watch. And also, Wolfman, it's kind of funny that you bring up the Ewok movies. Well, first of all, I didn't know that Stuckman reviewed those. I'll have to check those out. But I actually have some folders on my computer labeled Caravan of Courage. I was actually planning... Are they old reviews? I'll look them up. I hope he didn't just come out with them and it seems like I'm copying them. I hope they're old. Because I didn't even know he had them. But yeah. Yeah, I probably... Next few months will probably make a like Caravan of Courage or Ewok movie video. But yeah, anyway. I appreciate that, Wolfman. Looking forward to watching that micro series for sure. And PowerBeam08, thank you so much for the final super chat and channel support of the stream. I greatly appreciate that, man. I don't know if you meant to type a little message in there or if you wanted to be a silent supporter, but I appreciate that all the same. Mr. PowerBeam, thank you so much, man. So, all right, guys, that was like exactly an hour. That worked out really well. I was planning on going for 30 to 45 minutes. Time escaped me, and here we are, an hour later. So, to everybody who tuned in tonight, to everybody who chit-chatted in the chat, thanks for hanging out. To everybody who super-chatted, thank you so much for supporting the channel this evening. As I said earlier, I got a video coming out tomorrow, which is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I already have the videos ready to go. I just need to upload them, schedule them. They're nothing special. They're just kind of me talking in front of the camera for a little bit. And one of them is really dumb. They're all dumb, right? And then Friday is going to be a Clone Wars video. So 4 videos in a row, which is the first time that's happened in a very long time. But they're easy videos. They're not researched or crazy. It's just kind of me rambling. But and Mr. Wolfman comes in with a final super chat and channel support of the stream. 2-year-old reviews. Oh, nice. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll check those out. I actually didn't I didn't know that he did that. I'll have to check those out. But I appreciate you bringing that to my attention. Get a 2-year-old. I do have a 2-year-old. My daughter turns 2 in a couple weeks. 2 weeks exactly, pretty much. It's crazy. But yeah. It's crazy. It's fun. All right, guys. Thank you so much once again for tuning in. Hope you had some fun hanging out, shooting the shit. To everybody once again who super chatted tonight, thank you guys. The channel survives because of that support. Looking forward to getting these 4 videos out this week, and I'm also doing a longer researched one. You guys know how much I like doing that, and then I sprinkle in short and sweet and easy videos from around those. So anyway, have a good evening, morning, afternoon, wherever the hell you are on planet Earth. Andrew and Blaine, get some good sleep tonight, guys. You've earned it. And I'll catch you all on the flip side. See ya. Let's end this thing on an upbeat, fun song called Ice Cream. Cool? All right. Later, guys.